Take one. As a black crow flying like a maggot through the tree, it's black as the highway that's leading me, diving out to pick up time. I like a black crow flying in a blue sky. Took a ferry to the highway and I drove to a pontoon plane. Plane to the taxi and a taxi to a train. I've been driving so long. I'm never gonna know my way home when I see you again. I'm like a black crow flying in a blue sky. Life and love and music, my whole life has been illumination, corruption, diving down to pick up on every shiny thing. I'm like a black crow flying in a blue sky. Looked at the morning, just to being up all night. Looked at my haggard face in the bathroom light. I looked in the mirror and I saw the ragged soul take flight. I'm like a black crow flying in a blue sky. Black crow. Okay. Let's run through it real quick. Hold on. Okay, the tuning's kind of weird. Tuning is E goes down to B flat, right? Or I'm sorry, yeah, B flat. A goes up to B flat, so they're the same. Now, let's say this too. Now, these are light strings, light acoustic guitar strings. So that being said, I have to tune the guitar, I have to tune the lowest string slightly down a little bit because the string doesn't want to stay in tune. So when I go to that first chord, if I have this perfect, right? Like that, right? Now it's out of tune when I fret it, right? So that being said, I just go slightly flat, but it's E goes down to B flat, A goes up to B flat, or D goes down to C sharp, G goes down to F, ooh, what does B go to? I think B goes to, I think G sharp. Yeah, it goes to G sharp. B goes down to G sharp, and then E goes down to B flat. So this guitar does not want to stay in tune, but it's fine. Okay, that's the tuning. And it's pretty simple in terms of the chord shapes. The timing is kind of the hard part, and the words kind of flow in a very jazzy kind of way where it's like, you know, if you don't like, you know, I've been listening to this song for years, and I love the song, and I know the words whenever I hear it. You know, I'm playing on my phone, I scream the words. I love the song, but when you go to play it on the guitar and sing along to it while you're playing, it's very difficult to kind of, because the changes come in different places. Like the part where it goes that's really hard to get the words to flow like perfectly well with that, right? So I'd recommend just getting the guitar part down. If you're planning on singing alongside of it while you're playing, I would recommend getting just the guitar part down. Like, make sure you can play the guitar part perfectly, and make sure you know the words perfectly too. I had to pull up my other phone here. I don't even know all the words, right? But it starts, so it's in that tuning, and it starts in that. Am I in tune? Yeah, I am, okay. That part. A lot of this stuff, by the way, isn't as difficult as it seems. It like probably seems like much worse than it actually is in terms of difficulty, but I swear it's not that hard. So the first shape is, there's two ways you can play the shape. You can do it this way, which is the way that I do it, or you can just use your index finger and not put it right there. Because look at this, the note right here is just the octave, right? Because this note isn't in this chord. See? It's almost like a dissonant kind of 9, you know, a minor 9 or something like that. Right. But so what you can do is either you can only play those thickest, lowest 3 strings, or if you kind of like, I tend to be very careless when it comes to my strumming. So that being said, I tend to put my index finger on that 3rd fret of the G2, because, you know, it's easier than, like, if I just wanted to, it's kind of harder in my opinion, but it's 5th fret, 5th fret, and 5th fret on E, A, and D, and then I do 3rd fret of the G, or you can just do only those 3 lowest strings at the 5th fret. But I'm going to teach you the way that I do it, which is with my index finger at 3rd fret of the G string. So it goes like, oh, there's something in my eye. Ugh. It goes like, so that second chord is, we go from this, and then it's just, so that's just 3rd fret on E, A, and D again, and then open E, A, and D. So it's, think of it like 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 3, 0, 0, 3, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 3, 0, 0, 3. So, I'm not sure which version it is, but I know that there's a version where Joni doesn't do the, she doesn't land back on that, she just stays on the, so I guess it really depends on how you want it to sound. It's, of course, subjective. I teach these videos with the intent of letting the viewer learning my songs that I'm posting to be able to learn it the way that they want to learn it, all right? So, that being said, here's what we have. And it does that pattern 4 times. Then it goes into the verse. That's kind of a tricky part. The slide is kind of difficult. Because the hardest part, in my opinion, is the timing, as opposed to the actual technique. Like, the timing is really difficult to get down. I remember when I first learned this song like a year ago, it's like,
I couldn't get that. You know, it took me a while to get the timing for that. And it's still not even perfect now, but it's close enough, so whatever. But it goes, we're gonna have a lot of percussive elements in this, right? Think of it like, think of your arm as always strumming, right? So even when I, see what I'm kind of doing, where my arm is always strumming and my fretting hand is the hand that controls, I guess, if we're going to be playing a note or if we're just going to get that kind of percussive sound, right? So in this case, because we're tuned to this crazy tuning, our index finger, if you bar across all 6 strings on the 5th fret, oops, that's our first, or our 3rd chord technically. So what I'm doing there, excuse me, what I'm doing there is I'm going down, up, down. I hit the dead strings. And then what I'm doing is I'm taking the pad of my finger and I'm kind of almost making like an A chord shape where it's like, that would be, what was that, 7th fret? 7th fret on G, I'm sorry, D, G, and B. So it goes, think of it like that here. So 7th fret on D, G, and B, 5th fret on D, G, and B to open D, G, and B. So altogether that's slowly. So, that's the tricky part. There's a slide. So, what we have is we have the intro, which is 4 times, and then this part up here where it's so how many times is that? We do that happens 3 times, so I'm not sure how many bars we have, but I know that after the 3rd is when you go to the, okay, I'm getting too fast here, but it goes, after the 3rd is when you go into, and that's 7th fret on D through high E, and you kind of slide that up towards the end. And you slide it up to 12, and then you kind of, you strum it, and do an upstroke on those open strings. I'll do it slow so you can understand. So it goes, that's 1, that's 2, this is 3, alright, I'll do it slower. That makes sense. If it doesn't, you can ask in the comment section, of course. And then the next is, it goes to the 8th fret bar. Also, I forgot to say this earlier, but pretty much all of these chords that are just 1 finger across the bar, or I'm sorry, 1 finger across the entire fretboard. The suspension that I do is, I just take my finger on and off, right? As an example, or down here too. Okay, so anyhow, it's 8th fret, and I kind of go like on, off. To the first fret, on, off, or on, off. To the third fret, on, off, on, off, right? That's kind of the way I'm doing it. I don't think, I'm not sure if that was a good idea to do the on, off, because that might be confusing. Because I kind of confuse myself, and if I confuse myself, somebody else is probably gonna get confused too. But the concept is just get that feel for the rhythm, you know. This is considering the song doesn't even have any drums on it really, and it's just Jocko on bass. I think Larry Carlton is playing the lead guitar on that. Joni on her Gibson hollow body, of course. But I don't believe there's any drums on the song. So that being said, it's very interesting how there's so much rhythm in this song. So much percussion too, like all those dead strings, you know, and Jocko's bass playing, of course. You know, you could probably play off of him and keep time just as good as the drummer, you know. But anyhow, I'm getting distracted. Where was I? Yeah, so it's about 4 measures. So 1, 2, 3. So or 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I can't count correctly, but the point I'm making is that this is one beat. This is one beat, and this is 2 beats. So this is double the amount of length as this and this, right? So when you're here, you're gonna stay here a little bit longer. So it's, and then you wouldn't go, you would stay. I'm like a black crow flying. And then that's just 1 beat for each of those. Not 4 beats technically, or whatever the time signature is, but you guys know what I mean, okay? I'm like a black crow flying. And then it starts over. And that's the whole song, really. I mean, sure, there's some weird parts, I guess, where, you know, maybe she'll play this part longer, you know, than a different time. I don't know. But for the most part, that's the whole song, alright? It's not that complicated. Honestly, you know, this might sound stupid, but from my perspective, the most difficult part is getting my damn guitar to stay in tune. Look at that, it's already out. Here's some tips too. What Joni does is she plays, so because this is tuned so low, if I'm fretting and I pick it super hard, it kind of wobbles a bunch. And you get this, I'll show you. You get this kind of like percussive sound. As the highway that's leading me down to pick up on sad thing. I'm like a black crow flying in a blue sky. Right, that's it. That's the song. I don't know. If you have questions, ask them, of course. I have my red light on, so I don't know how good you can see the fretboard of the guitar, but I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm gonna try to start posting more. And yeah, I don't know. Have a good day.